DreAllDay.com.
You're now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. Then we put all this together into a series of principles, strategies, frameworks, philosophies, and mindsets. And we wrote a bunch of books on it, and you had this daily masterclass that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today, as promised, as anticipated, the streets have been asking. Today is part 2 of 5, where I am going over the 20 key takeaways, lessons, and benefits from doing 2,000 straight daily episodes of this Work on Your Game masterclass. And today we are talking about purpose. What do I mean when I say purpose? Definition of purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Another definition, the verb definition of purpose, is have as one's intention or objective. In other words, the thing that you're doing, is it connected to something bigger than just doing the job? I talked about this in a recent episode where we talked about, in many episodes actually, in episodes on entrepreneurship, we have talked about this, and episodes on aiming higher, we talked about this. And the thing is, and also on an episode on human nature in 1987, we talked about that as well. The thing is, you don't want to be working just to work. I don't care what you get from the work. I mean, in terms of tangible things, none of those is really going to help you fulfill your purpose. Your purpose in life and anything that you do always needs to be something bigger than just the job, because having a purpose is bigger than the job helps you go over top of the challenges of having the job, because every job requires a grind. Every job is going to have a series of third days that you're going to need to deal with. What's going to keep you going on those third days? What's going to keep you going through the grind and through the challenges and setbacks that are inevitable in anything you undertake in life is having a bigger purpose. So the reason that I do this show is not just so I can say I got a daily show, even though that's a benefit. It's not just for the listeners and the downloads or the money that I can make from it, even though all of those things are benefits. The reason that I do it is some of the things I'm going to be talking about here today. We're talking about purpose. When you have a purpose that is bigger than the job, then the job is easy. Now, if your purpose is just doing the job, then when the job becomes difficult, then everything becomes difficult, because your purpose is, you're right there at the purpose, and that's a struggle, then everything's going to be a struggle. But when you have a purpose that's bigger than the very thing that you're doing, then it's easy to do that thing because you have something that is way bigger than that pulling you forward. So it's easy to deal with these smaller things. That's what I mean when I say going over the top, which I also explained in my book, Work on Your Game, which if you have not read yet, you can get that book. Well, here's my book, The Third Day. You can also see that over my shoulder back there, a whole bunch of them. You can get a free copy of this book by going to thirddaybook.com. And where I talked about going over the top was in this book called Work on Your Game, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. You can purchase a copy of this 250-page hardcover book at workonyourgamebook.com, workonyourgamebook.com. So anyway, today we are going to be talking about purpose. And before we do that, let me tell everybody, I have a text message line. I want you to text me so you can get my daily motivation text, which I send out every day to everyone who is in my community. My number is 305-384-6894. To get text from me or get those texts from me and to text with me, completely free of charge, just text me at that number. Once you're in, you'll be getting a daily motivation every morning, and you can exchange messages with me. So you can just reply to any one of those texts or ask me a question, share a challenge. And yes, I do text people back. And yes, that is me texting. The number 305-384-6894. So now let's get into part 2 of 5 here. Key takeaways from 2,000 daily episodes of this show. The topic today is purpose. Point number 5. Giving people the game in this way, this is my calling. This is part of my larger purpose. It's just giving people the game. Now, podcasting is just the medium through which I'm doing it, but let's say podcasting disappears, I'll find another way to do it. Whether that be video, whether it be writing things down, whether it's augmented reality, virtual reality, Google Glasses, whatever it's going to be, I will figure out a way to give people the game. Because that's the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. Even more than playing basketball, it is this. Because in doing this, I can break things down. I can take a complex idea, or at least what may be complex to some people, and I can break it down and make it simple. So when I do the speaking gigs, when I write something, when I do a podcast, I can do a live event, this is my wheelhouse. This is my domain. So even though some of you might even know me from basketball, maybe some of you were intrigued or you started listening to me or paid attention to me because you heard about or saw something about me being a professional basketball player, there's a reason why basketball happened the way that it did. There's a reason why I found myself, trying to get into the pros, but at first I couldn't get in. And then when I wasn't in, I saw that this YouTube thing might become a thing, that I could kind of get myself known on the internet through posting these videos, which wasn't the initial aim. I was just posting it because I saw people wanted some gain from it. But then when I saw there was a business opportunity, I started taking advantage of the business opportunity. And then people started asking me about the mindset. And that's when I started talking about discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative, the very things that my business is built on to this very day. Is the reason why all those things happened the way that they did. Basketball was, for me, merely a vehicle for me to get to this. Because through basketball, I found the internet, and through the internet, I got to YouTube, and through YouTube, I got to the audience who was watching me, and through the audience, I got to, they started asking me these questions. Why do you come to the gym every day to work out? How do you have the same confidence in the game that you have in practice? Or you got cut from your high school team 3 times. You walked on at a D3 college. How do you even keep the vision alive in your mind? You can become a pro athlete, because that is kind of far-fetched. Or they would ask, well, how do you get started getting known online? Because now I had a little buzz to my name, because now YouTube was starting to become a thing to do. So I started answering those questions. Discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative, respectively, answering these questions. And that led to the entire foundation framework of the work on your game philosophy. So playing ball was just a vehicle to get me to where I'm at right now. This is the calling, this thing that I do here. Again, podcasting is just one way of doing it, but the calling is giving people the game. However I need to do that. This is my wheelhouse. And it's why I love doing this show, even though at this point, I could stop the show at episode 2000 and say, listen, I've given enough game that I don't need to make any more content for the rest of my life. I've given you everything that you need. I could say that and I'll be telling you the truth. However, a couple caveats. Number one, tomorrow there will be new information and new experiences that I might need to talk about because things change that fast. And number two, people want some new stuff. All right? They don't want to be referred to something that you put out 5 years ago. They want to hear something that you said 5 minutes ago. This is just how human beings are, which is just the nature of the beast of humans, but it helps us content creators because we can take something that we talked about 3 years ago, talk about it again, say the exact same thing, and people appreciate it just because it's new, quote unquote new, even though it's the exact same idea. So the whole point is that I'm making here in point number 5 is that I love doing this show and continuing to share the game, and I love continuing to challenge myself to find new ways to discuss and disseminate the game. I don't run back any episodes. You look through the history of this show, you will not see any encore episodes. You don't see any replay episodes. You don't see any Dre's on vacation, so we're just going to take this old episode and run it again. No, I don't do that. Even though I could, there's nothing wrong with it. And hey, maybe it's a good idea, but I'm not going to do it. All right, this show, every episode is going to be fresh, new material. Why? Because the law of contrast. I see other podcasters doing that, run it back shit. I'm not running nothing back because I don't want to be put in their box. Moving on to point number 6. Today's topic, once again, is the 20 best takeaways and benefits from doing 2,000 daily episodes of this show as it refers to my personal purpose. Is this specific topic today. Number 6, I have all the game lined up. What do I mean by that when I say I have all the game lined up? While this show is going to continue, the next thing for me is the packaging. And when I say packaging, I don't mean necessarily changing how the show is. What I mean is I personally, and as the CEO of a company, I'm in the process of doing and exploring new ways of packaging the game that I'm giving you here on this show, packaging the game that I've already created and I've already codified. So 29 books, 2,000 episodes, and 8,000 videos on YouTube, plenty of speaking gigs under my belt. I've done all the things that thought leaders, intellectual property people do, coaching programs, all of that stuff. I do it all. The next step then, what's the next thing that you do? When you've done all of these things, what's the next thing you do? Is I got to figure out new ways of packaging and sharing this game, because there's you who listens to podcasts. There are people who watch YouTube videos. There are people who go get a book when you tell them it's free, just cover the shipping. But there's other people who they might not do any of those things, or maybe they do, but they would never find me through any of those mediums. I got to find them where they're at. This is why we have Work on Your Game Live, the actual live in-person event that I am hosting here in Miami, January 21st and 22nd. And we're going to be doing more live in-person events because this is a new way of giving people the game. Now, some of you might know me from the content that I mentioned, and you'll still come to the live event because it's a different level of values, a different level of ROI when you're in the room with a person and other people and you get to meet people and all things like that. That's just an example of another way of taking the game, packaging it in a different way, and giving it to people through a different medium, which is live and in person, which is different from a podcast or a YouTube video. And some other stuff that is being worked on in the background right now that I'm not at liberty to talk about just yet, but I will be announcing some other ways that we are taking this whole work on your game philosophy, packaging it, and delivering it in a way that is different than how I've already delivered it, so that we can get it to as many people as possible, create as much value as possible, and of course, we're going to get value back because we're in business. Now, as far as the things that you know about me doing, making videos, writing, doing this podcast, I'm going to keep doing those, all of them, at least as of now. Everything I'm telling you is subject to change. I want to make sure y'all understand that. Nothing is set in stone. Life is always changing, so we must always be changing. So as of now, all of this stuff is going to continue. This show will absolutely continue. There wasn't even a thought of not continuing the show. But there are some other methods that are coming soon. Stay tuned. You'll hear about them. This is only what we're doing right now, what you're listening to right now. This is only the ground floor of what Work on Your Game is going to be about, of how we disseminate this and how we can give you as much value as possible. This is basic what we're doing right now, but it's going to another level. Trust me. Point number 7. Today's topic, once again, is the 20 key takeaways from doing 2,000 daily episodes of this show, specifically when it refers to purpose. Point number 7, public speaking is one of the most fun parts of this job that I have of putting this Work on Your Game thing out there. I remember my first ever public speaking experience, and this was not as an adult. This is when I was a second grader, and for some reason I decided to run for class treasurer in elementary school. I can't remember where I got the idea from, but anyway, there was an assembly in elementary school, and I had to get up and give a speech to the students to give my campaign speech for why they should vote for me for treasurer. And I had no confidence at that time. The speech was terrible. My mom wrote the speech. I don't know why. I don't even know where I got the idea to run. But anyway, my mom wrote the speech for the most part, and the speech was not good. She's not a speech writer. So that didn't do too well, and I did not win. I don't know if I got any votes. They never put out the final tally, but I don't think I got any votes. That was my first ever public speaking experience, but I got better. Over the next 10,000 hours of practice, stepping up my confidence, I can do it well now, and I can even teach other people how to do it. That's how much better I've gotten at it. I can show someone else how to do the exact same thing, which I will be doing on day 2 of Work on Your Game Live in January, because day 2 is going to be on communication. So when you can speak in public, the reason why I'm bringing up public speaking, when you can speak in public, you will be more confident in everything that you do in life. When you're good at public speaking, your writing will be better. When you're good at public speaking, your one-on-one conversations, which is not public speaking, they will be better. When you're good at public speaking, your posture will be better. You'll just feel more confident in yourself when you know that you can express yourself and get your point across articulately in front of a group of people. That's what public speaking is. You don't have to be getting paid for it to be public speaking. This show, you could call this public speaking. There's at least 2 people listening, it's public speaking. When you can speak in public, your confidence in everything in your life will go up. Trust me on this. And any of you who is a good public speaker, maybe you weren't at first, but then you became better at public speaking, tell somebody, tell a friend that your confidence definitely goes up. Somebody text me and let me know that I'm right about this, that your confidence will go up when you get better at public speaking. The reason why your confidence goes up, you get good at public speaking, is because you know internally that you can express yourself clearly to anyone. That's what public speaking skills is really about. Your ability to express what is inside clearly so that another person can understand it. Even if they don't even know who you are, even if they're not really that open to you, as long as you can express yourself clearly, they will understand in a way that they will understand it. And you know that you can do that. You feel very confident because you'll be able to communicate with anyone, with and to anyone. That's the reason why your confidence goes up. When you can express yourself, you feel good about yourself because you know, again, anything that you had on the inside, you can get it out to the person who needs to hear it when you're good at expressing yourself. Then you will do better, and then you will get more results. This is the be, do, have. When you are being a person, and you know inside that you are a person who can express yourself, that's the be, then you will do things at a higher level because your confidence is going up, that's the do. And then when you do things at a higher level, what happens? You get better results. That is the be, do, have principle. And public speaking is one of the tools that will get you there. And that's why, again, at Work on Your Game Live in January, and the website for tickets is workonyourgame.live, workonyourgame.live. On day 2, I'm going to spend the entire day we're going to be talking about communication. One-on-one communication, group communication, all kinds of communication, not only with others, but also with yourself, so that you can take those leadership tools that you're going to learn on day one and learn how to express them clearly to anyone else. And I tell you, even though the focus is leadership on day one and confidence on day two, what you're really going to be getting out of it is, leadership and communication, on day two. What you're really going to be getting out of it is confidence. And everybody wants confidence. Everyone wants to feel good about themselves and feel good about how you express yourself out into the world, verbally and non-verbally. Come to Work on Your Game Live. It's at workonyourgame.live. The link for tickets is down below in the description. Again, workonyourgame.live. You should be in the room. Trust me, it will be worth 10 times anything that you invest to get there. Point number 8. Today's topic, once again, we are talking the 2,000 best takeaways that I have gotten from doing the 20 best takeaways, not 2,000 takeaways. That'd be a long episode. The 20 best takeaways from doing 2,000 daily episodes of the Work on Your Game show, specifically when it comes to purpose today. Number 8, when I explain things on this show, and then I repeat my explanation of the thing that I've already explained, and I emphasize something, and then I re-emphasize the same thing that I already emphasized, the reason I'm doing it is because I have taken ownership of making sure that you get it. That's the reason why I repeat myself. Somebody had left a review on one of my books and said, well, he repeated himself a few times in the book, LOL. All right, the reason why I repeat myself is because human beings, we have hard heads. All right, we need to hear things more than once. When you were in elementary school, how many times did you do the ABCs? All right, so many that you still remember the song, right? You do the ABCs right now. You could even sing it like a song. Why is that? Because you did it so many times. And why was that important? Because we need words to express ourselves. So we need words. That's how you learn how to read and write. You have to start with the ABCs. That's the reason why it got emphasized over and over and over and over again. I take responsibility. This responsibility that I have of having your ear for 20 minutes every day, I take this as a serious gig because you can't be listening to me and listening to somebody else at the same time. So if you're going to give me 20 minutes of your time, and I've already told you in episode 609, the time is the most valuable asset you own. Being that I've told you that, I'm going to make sure that I'm not wasting your most valuable asset when I ask you for it. So if I put out a 20-minute episode, I'm asking you for 20 minutes of your time. And I'm going to make sure I give you something in exchange for that 20. I'm going to give you more value for your 20 minutes than you have to give up in order to get it. All right, that's a good exchange. That's good commerce, a good transaction. I'm going to give you your time's worth every single day. And as I do that, and you're getting this game every day, good things are going to happen to you because I'm giving you the game. You have no choice but to do better in life because you're getting the game from me. And those things are happening because you have game. And then good things will happen to me because the more game that I give you and that you take and you use and get value from, I'm building up some positive karma. I'm secondly creating a relationship with you, and you are raising yourself to a higher level. So I'm making a law of association work for me by giving you game because I am helping you raise your game level. And now you know me, so now my game gets better because I'm associating with people who are always getting better. All right, just by listening to me, you're getting better every day, and I know you, and you know me. So now my law of association is working in my favor. Yours is working in your favor, and I'm putting my message out to the world every single day. So now I'm making myself more discoverable by other people who need the game. All right, everybody wins. This is a win-win-win situation. So when I talk about this connecting to purpose, not all of these things matter. And for you, you need to know what your purpose is. Figure out what your purpose is in life. Where is your wheelhouse? Where do you belong? What is the main purpose? Now, you might do a bunch of different things. I'll do a whole lot of different things. But the purpose is giving people the game. Even when I was only focusing on basketball, any of you who used to watch my YouTube basketball videos back in the day, they're still on YouTube. You can watch them now. What was I doing in those videos? I was giving you the game. Most of my videos was not me showing you me playing in the game. Most of the videos was me explaining to you how I developed the game. That's most of my material on YouTube when it was basketball related, was me showing you how to develop game. So I was doing it even then, and now I'm just doing it in a different medium. That is my purpose, but I know that with 100% certainty, and that's why we're here. So let's recap today's class, which is part 2 of 5. I'm giving you the 20 key takeaways from doing 2,000 daily episodes of the Work on Your Game podcast. Number 5, giving people the game in this way is my calling. Even more than basketball, this is where I can break things down, take complex ideas, make them simple. This is my domains, my wheelhouse. Speaking, writing, podcasts, live events. That's why I love doing this show, even though I have to this point, shared enough game that I could effectively stop doing it and you have everything you need for life. But I'm gonna keep going because there's more things gonna happen. Number 6, I have all the game lined up, meaning I'm gonna keep doing this show like I just told you, but the next thing for me is figuring out different ways of packaging this game so I can get it out to more people at a higher level of value and create more ROI for them and more ROI for me, because we're in business here. For example, Work on Your Game Live is happening in January. That's a new way of packaging the game and giving it to people in a different way, a different medium than just on the internet and through a phone. Number 7, public speaking is one of the most fun parts of my job. I like public speaking because after 10,000 hours of practice, which helped me step up my confidence, in addition to stepping up confidence, I can do it well now and even teach other people how to do it, which I will be doing at day 2 of Work on Your Game Live, again, in January 21st and 22nd. When you can speak in public, you become more confident in everything because you know you can express yourself. So you want to develop your public speaking skills as well, even if you don't want to start a podcast. And number 8, when I explain things on this show and repeat them and emphasize and re-emphasize, it's because I'm taking ownership and making sure that you get it. And I know that human beings, including myself, we have hard heads. We have to hear things more than once to get it. I take the responsibility of having your ear as a serious gig because I'm asking you for your time. So I'm always going to give you more than your time's worth in exchange for what I'm giving. As I do that, good things are going to happen to you because you're getting more game, and good things will happen to me because I'm building up positive karma. I'm creating a relationship with someone who is building their game, working on their game, and I put my message out to the world every day. This is a complete win all around the board situation. All this being said, if you want to get my daily motivation text, which I send out every day to everyone in my text community, send me a text real quick at the number 305-384-6894. And anyone who's looking for some one-on-one coaching in my 3rd day mastermind, let me tell you the 3 high-level areas that I'm helping people with: accountability, strategy, and execution. Accountability, strategy, and execution. If you need help with accountability, strategy, or execution, you need to hop on a Zoom call with me by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com/call. We'll talk about what we need to talk about, and then we'll go from there. Tomorrow, we'll talk about branding and business. Work on your game. Dre all day.